Boxing fans,
Are you ready?
Ladies and gentlemen,
Live from Atlanta, Georgia, 39 3/4 pounds with a sensational record of 24 wins, no losses. He has 23 big wins coming by way of knockout. Here's the popular and acclaimed three-time two-division world champion, the hard-hitting, current and undefeated WBA super featherweight and WBA lightweight champion of the world, introducing Gervonta on Netflix. To those of you joining us right here in Texas, you ready to make history? Let's meet the fighters. First, fighting out of the blue corner, silver and chrome trunks. He stands 6 feet 1 inch tall. He weighed in at 227.2 pounds. He holds a near perfect professional record of 10 victories, 1 defeat, with 7 of those wins coming by way of knockout. And he fights out of Dorado, Puerto Rico, by way of Cleveland, Ohio, USA. He is the multi-talented superstar who bridged the gap between social media and professional boxing. Boxer, a content creator, an entrepreneur, a philanthropist, and a promoter, and the self-proclaimed of boxing. Ladies and gentlemen, he is the problem child, Jake El Gallo Paul.
Polo is focusing more on the boxing instead of looking.
And it appears Davis' confidence is growing by the second.
Pedraza's not doing so well
for his professional fights.
With an eruption here.
The beginning of round 9 and round 8.
shots.
Davis tags the body with the right. That left hook was...
That overhand right is coming from Jake Paul.
Experience. This is Pedraza.
Oh, shot counter.
From the problem child.
For 16,500 were on their feet as they watched Davis. And this fight is over!
He is the winner by way of technical knockout. He is still undefeated, now a 3-division world champion, and
In a clash where unpredictability meets precision, Jake Paul continues his campaign to prove he's more than just a headline. He's a real boxer chasing legacy. But standing across from him is no ordinary opponent. It's Gervonta "Tank" Davis, a ruthless knockout artist whose fists rewrite careers in an instant. The boxing world is split. Some see Jake as a bold innovator forcing his way into a sport that resists outsiders. Others insist he's simply out of his depth, walking into a storm he can't control. Either way, this is no exhibition, it's a collision between ambition and authority. Every question, every doubt, will be answered when the first bell echoes through the arena. Jake brings size, confidence, and a loyal global following. Tank brings mastery, composure, and that devastating blend of speed and violence that defines champions. The air is electric, heavy with tension. One punch could silence millions or ignite a new era of respect. Jake is fighting for validation. Tank is fighting to remind the world that dominance isn't shared, it's enforced. Under blinding lights and roaring anticipation, Jake steps forward with swagger, fueled by faith in his power and preparation. But in the opposite corner stands a quiet storm, Gervonta Davis, cold and calculating, ready to dismantle anyone who questions his reign. Tonight isn't about entertainment, it's about survival. Confidence will meet destruction, and reputation will face reality. The crowd senses it, something historic is about to unfold. Jake's journey from viral personality to professional fighter has defied every prediction. His victories over Nate Robinson, Ben Askren, and Tyron Woodley weren't flukes, they were lessons that carved discipline and control into his style. Each challenge transformed ridicule into respect, sharpening a once amateur into a serious contender. Now, he stands at the edge of legitimacy. Across from him is Tank Davis, undefeated, unrelenting, and unbothered. His resume reads like a warning label: Leo Santa Cruz, Mario Barrios, Rolando Romero, all victims of his speed and precision. Davis isn't just powerful, he's methodical, a tactician who studies opponents before breaking them apart piece by piece. Jake's greatest weapon may not be his right hand, but his composure. Under pressure, he thrives. Every bout has tested his intelligence, forcing him to anticipate, adapt, and strike with purpose. Against Tank, that mental edge will be everything. Staying calm while facing a storm, that's his only path to survival. Inside Jake's camp, the grind has been relentless. Precision mitt work, endless rounds on the heavy bag, simulated chaos in every session. He's focused on movement, timing, and controlled aggression. Sparring with elite fighters has taught him to read distance, control rhythm, and exploit small windows of opportunity. Nothing has been left to chance, every drill has been designed for this exact moment. But Tank's preparation is equally ferocious. His power doesn't just break guards, it breaks confidence. Even seasoned sparring partners admit the pressure he creates feels suffocating. His camp thrives on intensity, speed drills, high-stress rounds, and precision timing that turns split-second openings into devastation. Every repetition sharpens his instinct to strike the moment hesitation appears. Davis's philosophy is simple: dominate early, leave no room for recovery. His body is trained for violence, his mind engineered for control. When the bell rings, he's not testing his opponent, he's dismantling them. Every knockout Jake has delivered tells a story of growth: Robinson's shocking collapse, Askren's technical unraveling, Woodley's unforgettable fall. Each one expanded Jake's experience, building confidence layer by layer. The world has watched him evolve from influencer to fighter, from entertainer to competitor. And now, all that momentum meets its most dangerous test. Jake's rising confidence collides with Tank's seasoned ferocity. Both men enter the ring with something to prove, one chasing validation, the other protecting legacy. The noise fades, the lights intensify, and every eye in the arena waits for that one punch that could change everything. This fight isn't driven by belts or titles. It's driven by pride, validation, and the burning need to prove who truly belongs at boxing's highest table. It's not just about winning, it's about silencing critics and putting on a global spectacle that the world won't forget. From the opening bell, expect chaos, drama, and brilliance woven into every second. Gervonta, Tank Davis enters with a highlight reel that defines modern knockout artistry. From Leo Santa Cruz's unforgettable collapse to Mario Barrios's relentless punishment and Rolando Romero's calculated dismantling, every victory shows Davis's precision and ruthless timing. He doesn't just defeat opponents, he dismantles them in ways that echo through the sport. Against Jake Paul, that same merciless focus returns. Every strike he throws carries the weight of his reputation, and the power to make history again. But Jake Paul isn't arriving unprepared. His calculated, methodical approach meets Davis's forward march like fire meeting steel. It's counterpunching versus aggression, patience versus pressure. Jabs sharpen to precision against explosive combinations. What unfolds isn't a mere fight, it's a strategic duel wrapped inside a storm of violence. Whoever enforces their rhythm first could seize control, set the tempo, and shift the outcome with a single exchange. Every round feels like a cliffhanger. The unpredictability is electric. Jake's counters could land with pinpoint accuracy, but one slip, one moment of overreach, and Tank's lightning-fast response could turn the night upside down. Mistakes aren't forgiven in a Davis fight, they're punished instantly. Each jab, hook, and uppercut carries consequences. Every twitch of movement could determine victory or disaster. The road to triumph is crystal clear for both men. Jake must use range, discipline, and distance to keep Tank off balance, forcing him into deep waters. Davis, meanwhile, will close space, apply suffocating pressure, and unleash combinations that test every inch of Jake's defense. If Jake can stay composed, survive the early storm, and stretch the fight, he could grind his way to a decision. But if Tank imposes chaos, the ending could come long before the final bell. This isn't just a contest of fists, it's a psychological war. Jake feeds on pressure, thrives under bright lights, and uses confidence as both armor and weapon. Tank is the opposite, silent, focused, unshaken. He doesn't need to talk, his gloves do it for him. Tonight, mental fortitude will matter just as much as power. The man who controls his nerves, adapts his timing, and reads his opponent's rhythm will seize control of destiny. Expect a rapid, explosive start. Jake will test with jabs, probing Davis's defense, looking for rhythm. Tank will close the distance, cut off the ring, and respond with thunderous combinations. The fight could swing in seconds, a counter here, a clean shot there, every moment charged with danger. This will be a showcase of cardio, composure, and calculation. Each fighter must balance aggression with survival, offense with endurance. One lapse, one mistimed reaction, and the night could end in a single heartbeat. Training has sculpted both men for this. Jake's drills focus on endurance, footwork, and adaptability, shadow boxing under pressure, movement-based sparring, and round-after-round intensity. Davis's regimen builds on explosiveness and timing, power bag sessions, advanced defensive drills, and high-pressure simulations to perfect his reaction time. What we'll witness is the collision of meticulous preparation versus instinctive brilliance. Every punch thrown tonight is the result of countless unseen hours, repetition, failure, and recalibration. Both camps represent dedication at its highest level. One fights to redefine boxing's future, the other to defend its tradition. It's strategy versus instinct, preparation versus raw dominance. History always rewards those willing to take risks. Both men have battled world-class opponents, but tonight's stakes surpass anything they've faced. Every feint, every pivot, every adjustment will unfold under a global microscope. Expect strategies to evolve mid-fight, trainers whispering between rounds, corners adjusting tactics, fighters recalibrating with every blow. One sudden burst of courage or brilliance could change everything. This is not merely a sporting event, it's a reflection of the new boxing era. Jake Paul represents disruption, the collision of entertainment and athletic ambition. Gervonta Davis embodies legacy, the defense of skill, discipline, and earned dominance. Together, they symbolize the sport's past and its unpredictable future colliding center ring. Imagine the moment. The arena trembles. Flashbulbs explode. The roar is deafening. Jake snaps a counter across Tank's chin. Tank answers with a thunderous hook that freezes the crowd mid-cheer. Sweat, speed, and power blur into a living storm of adrenaline. Each exchange tells a story, every round writes a chapter. The atmosphere itself becomes part of the battle, a living, breathing force that fuels both fighters toward destiny. In the end, this fight transcends sport. Jake Paul versus Gervonta, Tank Davis proves why boxing remains the theater of truth, where hype meets heart and every punch decides history. The knockout threat hung in the air from the opening bell, keeping fans on edge until the final second. The debates will rage, the highlights will echo, but one fact is undeniable: this showdown changed the landscape of modern boxing. For more explosive fight analyses, real-time breakdowns, and highlight reactions, subscribe to Boxing Edge. And now, the question the world can't stop asking: does Jake Paul rise to rewrite the story, or does Tank Davis rule the ring forever?